Hello! Okay, I am paranoid, so I make sure that my voice is actually registering before I go off on tangent because I always mute myself. Anyways, welcome to episode 4 of Rise of Sagemist. We're back, and it's been a hot minute. So, without further ado, let's go into a little bit of a recap because none of us know where we left off essentially. Okay, everyone remembers the cliffhanger, but they don't remember any other episode. So I'll go into detail about that here in a sec. So if you all remember, episode 3 opened up with most of the students watching as Kiaran was engulfed into this shadowy gook that was on the ground. From there, other students begin to proceed into the darkness, just Leroy Jenkins style, which left Kiaran, Natari, and Luth now also in this shadow realm. Leverin decided to leave and investigate the area after pretty much everyone either fled out of that building or were captured into this darkness type deal. Once he exited, he was able to track this character that looked shady, you know, hanging out on the rooftops as you do, and tracking him down, saw that the person was cloaked, and Leverin proceeded to throw a, I think, dagger into his thigh or some nonsense. From that point, within the shadow, Kiaran ended up coming across Luth and soon a bird form of Natari that turned back into Natari. And as they tried to find their way out, they didn't really get much leeway. It took them a while to realize that in order to kind of encounter the people there, they need to realize that the people were there. So from that, they were able to find Alexandrin, and with Alexandrin's help, he was able to find the other students that were at his table as well that were captured inside of this darkness. Luckily, it didn't take long, but the students were able to track down this source of light that had a hand reaching out to them. And as all of the students progressed to exit as quickly as they can, and the hand went to retrieve everyone, it came down to Kiaran, and the portal or whatever visage of light there was closed off, leaving Kiaran kind of stuck in this shadowy plane. From that point, Leverin began to question as well as Merrick, this person who turned out to be Glitch, which was Kiaran's friend. Although after a little bit of investigation, the two realized that he wasn't of his own volition. They were able to knock him out. Well, I think Merrick was able to knock out the student. And from there, I believe Leverin took Glitch to the med ward, and Merrick went back to the kind of bar area tavern to check to see if there was any other clues, which he came across Littlefoot and the other students that had been rescued so far, everyone except for Kiaran. Leverin dropped Glitch off at the library and then at the med ward, and then proceeded to go to the library. And from there, he was encountered by the warlock Tabaxi professor, who told him not to go into the restricted section, and found Leverin in the restricted section again. And from that point, he took him to his not classroom, his personal study, I don't know, wherever his little pocket realm is, and began to train Leverin in the art of not fucking up. So from there, we have
Like the last
Kiaran.
thing is a Leverin who's competent.
Yes, more or less.
We don't need that.
We have Kiaran, who, while in this shadow area, more or less came across another student that she didn't know was there, but was able to kind of arcanely sense out. And the two of them ended up getting saved and returned, but not before seeing some like grotesque creature off in the distance. Anyways, making their way back, Kiaran proceeded to go to the med bay after she found out that's where Glitch was. That's where the headmistress came and informed her that there wasn't much that they could do to save him currently because they weren't exactly sure what was affecting him. And while that was all happening, the other students that were at that barkeep made their way back towards the common area, and Luth proceeded to question Levrin about why he is the way he is, more or less. And before the conversation could end, because it was just the two of them kind of talking, Luth watches as a large blade comes out of Alexander's chest, and as the body is thrown to the ground, he sees his genie and patron and avatar all wrapped up in one, more or less telling him that he needed to stop playing with his food because they had work to do. And that's where we ended it, and that's where we're picking it up. So from that point, no one is immediately around to see this, obviously. More or less, Luth had taken Alexander off to the side to kind of like talk to him, and Alexander sent his friends off to head back to the common area. So this whole thing wasn't perceived, more or less, which is probably why it happened. But can I have everyone roll a perception check? Sure.
3.
Okay. Yep, that makes
21.
sense. Okay.
7.
I got an 8.
And Levrin? No, you're muted, sorry.
8.
Okay. Natari, you're able to, as you make it back to the common room, you're able to realize that Luth as well as Alexander aren't with you all. Like you knew that they were following you, and then you turned around and not there.
Guys, where did Luce go? I'll ask to the group.
I don't know. He was here just a minute ago.
Yeah, he was with us, and then now
I was studying one of my books while we were walking. I wasn't paying attention.
I'll start to look around the common room.
Okay.
To
Roll
see if I find anything.
investigation check.
Where are we specifically?
The common room area of the academy, basically the area that leads off to everyone's individual quarters.
Oh, that's where my chair is, right?
Yeah.
All right, I'm sitting.
22.
Okay. You don't find Luth. However, you do see Merritt kind of reading off to himself over in the this chair that's kind of like sat off to where you can see every avenue of the room. Specificity. But you do notice this other student. She's kind of like standing there. You don't remember her being with you all earlier. And as you look, she kind of has glasses and is just standing there pretty meekishly. Face in book, but you're not sure if she's actually reading it.
She's hiding.
Hi, who are you? I'm Kiaran.
Hi.
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 I hold out my hand to shake your hand.
And she kind of just awkwardly extends her hand out.
You're new. I haven't seen you in here before, and I know who everybody is.
Make a history check, Kiaran.
Ooh, 21.
Okay. You noticed long enough to where you kind of pick up on small details, and this student in front of you kind of has a symbol that more or less insinuates that she's a higher classman, kind of like Glitch is to all of you. However, you don't remember seeing her like these past few days or so. So her face is kind of new, but apparently she's been here for a bit.
Well, to me, you look like you might be a little older, like an upperclassman from looking at your clothing, but I haven't seen you before, so I don't know. Can you tell me where you're from, what you're doing, and why you're here?
Well, what's anyone doing here at this academy, right?
I'm here because my mom wanted me to be here.
It's not to study the arcane arts?
Well, I mean, that's why I'm here. That's why she wanted me here. My mom's pretty powerful.
Oh, well, my point has been made then. But yes, I am also here to study magic and be able to control it a little better. But yeah. And she just stands there kind of awkwardly, like holding her book close to her.
What are you reading?
This?
Is it a spell book? Is it? Well, tell me. I won't try to guess. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. Try to guess.
Well, is it a spell book? Is it a diary?
No, it's definitely a spell book.
Oh, okay. What kind of magic is it about? Like abjuration, necromancy. Necromancy is pretty cool, but I don't think we're supposed to do it much.
Yeah, I think that's kind of a darker magic.
Well, you know what? I have my suspicions that there's some people here that are pretty dark.
She just looks at you like she has no idea what to say.
Well, I mean, you've been here, you've been around. You know what's here, right? I mean, this isn't your first year, but you seem like you're out of place for some reason. You know, I was going to show you around, but I think maybe you know more than I do.
Oh, would you look at the time? I should probably go. It was nice meeting you. What was your name again?
I'm Kiaran. Remember, I when I introduced myself, I said I'm Kiaran.
Right. You're right, Kiaran. It's nice to meet you. I'm Kenya.
Nice to meet you, Kenya.
Or K for short.
Okay. Oh, well, that's nice.
Yeah. You know what? I have a lot of studying to do. So I will. Hopefully,
Don't
maybe
run off. Don't run off.
No, fine. She walks away. Her face is all red.
Natari, make a insight check or perception check. Your choice.
Kiaran, I think you scared her away.
20.
Okay. I don't know why I would scare people away. I was being really nice.
Oh my goodness. You notice which one did you write or roll, by the way? Or are they the same?
They're both the same bonus. So
sweet. So you notice that she kind of like beelines it towards House. Which one is it? House Torin, and you see her kind of like make it to where y'all's opening to that area to go up to your individual quarters, and just kind of like dart into there, just gone.
Okay. Natari being the shy one she is as well, she's not gonna chase her. She might like kind of walk up to Kiara and be like, "Who was that?"
I don't know. She said her name is Kenya, but I think she went down the hallway to your wing of the rooms.
The place where she's safe.
You should go get her and introduce yourself.
That's
I was
right.
going to try to introduce all you guys, but she ran away. I don't know why.
Oh, I don't know. I might just go back to my room if I see her. I see her, but she seemed like she kind of wanted to be left alone, so I kind of.
Do you
I'm
think
sure. I'm sure we'll cross paths at some point.
Do you think I scared her away? Was that my fault?
You may have come off a little strong. You have a tendency sometimes.
What does that mean?
You just come off pretty strong when you meet. You're really excited, and so when it comes to like shy people, like you can maybe overwhelm them pretty quick.
Okay.
That's all.
I'll try to keep that in mind. But that's kind of my personality. I'm just like to be nice to everybody.
I know, and it's not necessarily a bad thing. Just you can overwhelm people. It's fine.
Okay. Makes me kind of sad that I might have scared her.
I'm sure she'll be okay.
I think she could be good friends with us and be in our little circle of friends.
That would be nice.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna go read this book that I got.
Okay.
So, have a nice day.
You too.
And then I'll grab Nibbles and my staff and just walk back into the our house room to go towards my little bunk space.
Okay. Around this time, Leverin, you are making your way back to the common room as well. You had just finished more or less your session with the Professor Tabaxi, Professor Lone, and are you trying to just make it back to your room? Your clothing's kind of tattered, but aside from that, you look kind of normal.
I'm gonna walk around the school.
Okay.
I'm gonna explore the school.
And Merrick, what are you doing?
I'm just observing currently, sitting in the chair, reading my book and watching Karen scare the upperclassmen.
Kenya, you make your way back to your personal space. Your room, as I spoke to the others, can be basically you walk into the room and there's beds on either side, left and right, and once you find your own personal bed, you walk in and that space can be crafted and changed into any kind of visage that you want, and you can make it to where people see different things or the same thing when they enter your space if you allow them to enter your space. But as soon as you leave that space, it just appears to be just this normal like bedroom type deal. But more or less they're all just like pocket spaces that the student body can creatively shape as they will.
Okay. So she currently had a conjuration spellbook. She's going to take it and kind of like put it back in her bookcase before kind of pulling out an evocation spellbook. Her little space herself kind of looks very similar to her room back at home to kind of like help keep her calm. It's a comfortable space for her. Lots of like, it's like a stone cobble like walls, and then her bed's got like these like draped-ish like curtains like around it. She's going to take her book, kind of sit on her bed, kind of adjust her glasses and just start reading.
Okay. Around that time, your avatar kind of like manifests, and this giant like puffball of a cat just kind of nestles itself on your bed.
And she kind of notices Snowball kind of up on the bed, and she's gonna be like, "Snowball, you want to cuddle?"
It's like,
Okay, that's enough. Go back to reading.
Natari, you make it back to your room. You're reading the book that you got from the library earlier as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Walk into my space and my normal little like tree cubby that's like a hammock spread across a couple trees
Mm-hmm.
would manifest itself, and then I'd take my spot in my hammock and Nibbles would be right there with me.
Leverin, you ultimately decide to explore the school a bit more. Is there any particular areas that you would like to look at, or?
Um, so I'm trying to head away from all the classrooms, and like the library area of the school and go to like the opposite side. I don't know exactly what would be over there, but kind of like the darker areas of the school, but not like far down as like the dungeon.
Okay. So you, being a writer, would know that the school is kind of broken down into three different tiers, and they're all structurally based on like class levels. So the poorer a person is, the lower the level kind of originates for them. Usually professors like Littlefoot and things of that nature, people that don't really have any use for monetary value, have their classes down in those lower areas. Then you have your obvious main second floor, or however you want to put it, and then your top floor is like your rich, snobby kind of, not always snobby, but they are rich. Um, and you probably can guess that Professor Caspin is on the top floor. Anyways,
I'm gonna head down from because I'm in like the second or third.
okay.
So I'm gonna go down to the first level.
Okay. As you head down to kind of like the lowest level of the school, make a perception check.
Ten.
Okay. Off in the distance, kind of, the stairway kind of like arches down, and you find yourself in a space that has a couple of classrooms here and there, and then a long hallway that kind of like leads outward, almost like out of the school. And towards the end, like right at the end of it, you can see Professor Littlefoot talking with another professor. You might recognize her as Professor Venus, the Earth Ganassi that kind of greeted the entire student body when you first arrived at the academy. Just speaking to each other, conversing. And then you watch as Professor Littlefoot goes out of the school grounds, and then Professor Venus starts walking back down that long hallway towards where you are.
Um, I want to stealth.
Okay, roll a stealth check.
So 21, 22.
Okay. You manage to like dip and hide, kind of where the back area of the staircase is. There's kind of a almost little cubby spot to hang in. You wait there until you kind of hear Professor Venus veer off and go into one of the classrooms, and the door kind of closes behind her.
I'm gonna stay stealth and I'm gonna try and sneak down the hallway to where Professor Littlefoot went.
Okay. Uh, you walk down the hall. There's doors at either side. Some of them seem to be classrooms. Others can be like a interesting pool. You might check that out later. But you proceed and you get to the very kind of like opening where you can literally walk out of the school. Like there's nothing keeping all of you at the school. But as you walk out, you see a relative thickness in the air. This mist has kind of like permeated itself just at the base of the stairs leading down into it.
I'm gonna keep walking a little bit further. And then can I do a perception check to see if I notice anything weird or
Uh, yes, you can make a perception check at disadvantage if you are in the mist.
okay.
When did Levin walk away from the group?
So he was at the library and then headed back towards the common area, but then decided to
So
instead
he
use
disappeared from the group about the same time that Luth did.
a while
Little
back
bit before,
before,
yeah.
because
Oh, okay.
he never actually met back up with the group since he dropped Glitch off at the med ward.
Okay, that's right.
It's gonna be a 6 for the perception.
Okay. You can barely see like in front of you. There's a lot of different shapes and things off in the distance, but as you get closer, your eyes kind of like play tricks on you, and the thing that you thought it might be, like, it turns out to be like a wood stump or something else. Like, you thought it was a human like
Um,
outline. But yeah, it's hard to read things in the mist because of how thick it is nestled there.
I'm gonna draw my sword
Okay.
and try and start walking back to the school. Do I have to do another perception check to see if I know the way I came from?
Make a survival check.
9.
Okay. You kind of look back and you're standing in what would appear to be a mixture of dirt and underbrush. And as you immediately go back and try and like retrace your footsteps, you don't see any. Like you don't see any twigs broken, you don't see any permutations of where you literally just walked from. Um and you even like stand there and kind of try and scan the area around you, but you don't notice anything that would say, okay, this is the way I came from.
So I'm gonna um, hang on. I'm gonna cast dancing lights as a cantrip and kind of like keep them in like a square and try and like send it around and
Okay.
see if I can find a way to get back and see my like kind of see my surrounding areas and try and work my way back. And
Okay.
as I do that, the circles get wider up to 60 feet or 30 feet because my dark vision and everything. And use the lights kind of as a guide to expand the range that I can see.
All right. Make a Arcana check.
20,
Okay.
non-natural.
As you create these dancing lights and send them out to kind of help guide you to progress back towards the school, You watch as your concentration like breaks and each of the lights kind of like pop one after another. And you're standing there and you're not exactly sure why, until you feel this tingle kind of like start at like the tips of your fingers and kind of like rush coolly over your body. And then you feel this power kind of like permeate and settle. Um, and now when you look down, your hands kind of like radiate this pulsing energy that also kind of goes over your outfit and the rest of your entire clothes and everything. As you're standing there, make a make another Arcana check.
12.
You've heard about this just in legend, like you actually haven't seen it in practice, but the thing that you kind of assume has taken over, especially since your dancing lights dissipated, is a magical state called Embolden. And for Embolden, it gives you advantage on all of your checks for a period of time. However, it requires concentration. So if you're attacked and things of that nature, your emboldened state could leave you and you could just be back to your normal, regular state.
I'm gonna use that. Is that advantage on
Literally
like
every check.
okay, I'm gonna use that to get back to the school.
Okay. Make another survival check.
It's a nat 20 for 23.
Okay. You start to try and make it back to the school, and this time you don't see footprints, but you do kind of see like your arcane trace of kind of where you came from, and you notice it's like off to the right of where you were as opposed to kind of like straight on. And as you follow it back, you make it, and eventually the mist kind of like dissipates enough for you to see the steps leading back up into the school.
Um, I start to rush quicker. Going from like a quick walk to a trot into a jog until I get up into this onto the stairs, and I stop right at like the foyer where the stairs end, and kind of like lean against the wall, and Leverin's breathing pretty hard, kind of um shocked, and like all the stress and anxiety from kind of getting lost because he's never experienced it before kind of catches up with him, and he just kind of sits there and kind of hyperventilates a little bit, shaking from the experience.
Okay. And as you're doing that, as you're back safe within the grounds of the school, you watch as that radiance kind of like dims out and you find yourself in your normal state again.
uh, Leverin kind of puts his sword tip down as like a cane and pushes himself up, takes a deep breath, seethes his sword back in, and kind of like shakes it off. The feeling, like the tingling feeling from the power that he felt, and walks himself back to the common room.
Okay. And Kiaran, what are you up to?
I would have been, that's something I wanted to say earlier, but I would have been on my way after Kenia went and hid in her room. I would have decided to go back to see Glitch
Okay.
in the medical ward, and would think that maybe I might see Leverin coming back, crossing paths with him as I'm on my way.
Make
Maybe.
a
I don't know.
perception check.
No, I didn't see anything. 8.
Okay. Leverin, make a perception check.
Mm, 6.
You literally just like pass each other, but don't know you pass each other as you head into like different areas of the school. Kiaran, you make your way to the med bay, and the nurses and things kind of notice you, and the arcane clerics of the school kind of usher you back to that waiting space that the headmistress said that you could wait at. As you make it there, you see that Glitch's state hasn't changed any. He does look peaceful, calm, but he's still just resting there in like that bed that you saw him in.
I want to find whoever like the head medical person in charge of his care, or at least whoever is there nearby
Okay.
who's monitoring him.
You walk up to a young. There we go. You walk up to a young cleric who is standing there. She kind of pushes the glasses up the brim of her nose, and she looks over at you. Yes, can I help?
I was coming to check on Glitch. I mean, I didn't see you when I was here before, but they told me I could wait here and just just watch or hang out if I wanted to. And I wanted to see how he was doing. Is he getting any better?
Glitch, do you mean Mr. Daranath, the
Yeah, I mean,
Triton?
I grew up with him, and our families knew each other, and we hung out when we were children. And how is he doing? He's a good friend of mine, and I just really want him to be okay.
Well, his state hasn't changed much since he arrived, I'm afraid. My clerics are doing the best that they can. However, it kind of seems like it's something he might have to fight his way through.
Do you think that is there some way to communicate with him, like some sort of like psychic or not like message, or but maybe sending or some way to communicate with him psychically in a way to kind of help lead him through? So there was something kind of like that when I was in this big shadow void thing earlier yesterday, and was that this morning? It's all running together. And I could hear someone talking to me, but do you know what I'm trying to say? I would.
Make an insight check.
Inside check.
Always the best.
16.
You notice that she's like looking at you more and more peculiar as you're kind of like expressing the things that you're speaking about. Dear, are you okay? Do you need to talk to someone about something? What do you mean, Chateau Place?
It was all part of the same thing where he got hurt. He was the one casting this darkness shadow place, but he was being controlled by something because like his eyes were black and he wasn't in control of himself. And Merrick, explained all of this when he came in, when we came over to check on Glitch. But So he was being controlled by something or someone, and something dark. And we were able to stop him. I wasn't. I was still in. It was pretty crazy. Anyway, um, they were able to stop him, but in the process, they hurt him physically. But it also, stopped him from being controlled. But whatever had a hold of him is, it's like not letting go. And I'm wondering if we could, like, if I could reach in there and communicate with him, and he could hear my voice. And I don't mean like physically, like talk to him, like, "Hey, Glitch, what's up?" I mean like saying the words out of my mouth. I mean, like, maybe some way to reach inside of him and speak, like, with my mind, or someone else who could. I don't know if I don't think I mean, I don't think I have that kind of strength or magical power. Maybe. I
Well,
don't know. Or maybe
I
someone could teach me.
I don't know if there is precedence for that type of interaction in a safe manner, at least. We're not sure if
Well, yeah,
doing
but
such a thing.
is there a precedence for his condition?
Well,
This seems like it's a pretty
no, this
um
is the first time we've seen it.
right. So maybe we should try something that we haven't tried before, because if we don't do anything, he might just be in this state forever and never come out of it.
Well, his parents have been notified, and as soon as we get word from them of what they would like, we will proceed as necessary. When it comes to students, we can't exactly go off the cuff, if you will. We have to follow regulation.
Okay. Well, as long as he's not getting worse, if he starts getting worse, I really think we should try something, whether his parents arrive or not. But I know they will, because they're good. They're very, very loving and caring family. And I know that they'll be here at some point. And I mean, headmistress said I could hang out, but I just wanted to check on him and see if he was any better or any worse. And since he's not getting worse, I feel better about it, but I still worry about him not getting any better. And I don't know. I would like to be not necessarily involved, but I would just like to know if something's going on, and maybe y'all could send word to me.
I believe that can be arranged. You said your name was Miss.
Kiaran,
Yes, Kiara.
Kiaran Talabrina. Yes.
If anything changes, we'll send word, just so you know. But it is
Okay.
getting late, and if you haven't picked your classes for tomorrow, you might want to consider that as well. The ferry should be sending around soon.
Well, you don't know me very well, do you? I've had my
Mm,
classes picked out long before I arrived.
Oh, well,
I mean, Meta, Brent doesn't know, but Kiaran would know. But anyway, thank you. I will head back and go think about this, and then I'll also, because I'm going to read ahead and get ready for my classes. Thank you.
she nods and kind of like, walks you back to the front area to ensure that you're doing well as you head back towards the common area.
What was your name?
Um, Milva,
Milva?
yes.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you. I'm gonna go back to the common area and maybe to my room now.
Okay. Um, uh, Kenya, as you're reading over your book, you notice kind of something enter into the space of your room, and it is it's essentially a scheduling fairy. Um, Basically, it's a small pixie type creature that always comes around this time to figure out which uh, school of magic you want to decide to maybe potentially take the next day. As it appears, it looks at you. It looks back down at its note-taking quill. Miss Kenya, are you going to take any classes tomorrow, or are you going to stay in your room again?
No. Actually, I was kind of wondering if I could study a little more on evocation. Actually.
The pixie kind of like perks up. Evocation. Yes, of course. Anything else?
And maybe abjuration.
Abjuration.
And that'll be it for now.
Okay, I mean that's definitely better than nothing. Well, I hope you do good in your classes, and good luck.
Thanks.
And just another similar fairy comes into your space, Natari. This one is kind of like has green wings, similar, all just same type fairy people. Yes. Are you Miss Natari?
Anisi.
Inisi? Yes. I am the scheduling fairy. I am here to see which class of. Wait, there's a note. I am here to see which school of magic you would like to attend tomorrow for your classes so that I can document it and let the professors know.
I was hoping to get a little better with like dealing with the elements and stuff. I think that's evocation. I'm not sure.
Go. Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, I can put you down for evocation. Would you like any other classes?
I think some conjuration I think would be fun.
Conjuration.
Yeah.
Right. Is that all?
I think so.
Okay. Well, I'll put you in for those classes, and are you familiar with who the class teachers are for those by chance?
No.
Okay. For evocation, it is Professor Lone. He is a nice tabaxi that was. I think I was informed to say that. And the conjuration professor is Professor Knopf. Oh, I probably could put it in the chat. I think I might have them pinned in the
Probably do.
But yeah, it proceeds to tell you about those classes, and then afterwards it flies off and heads back out. The same thing happens for the other students at the academy. Levrin, as you almost make it back to your room, this red fairy winged pixie kind of like shows up. Yes, I hear you are here for class sign-ups. I just need to know which class particulars you would like to sign up for. And Leverin, you would know that these pixies are all throughout the school, and they mostly just come out to relay the information pretty accurately as far as which students to expect. Oh, and you're muted, sorry.
As the fairy pops up, yes, Professor Lone's class for conjuration, or no, that's not. For evocation and Professor Littlefoot's abjuration class. And then if they can squeeze it in, Professor Caspin's class.
Illusion. Okay. Sure. It just might cut your lunch a bit short, but other than that, it shouldn't be an issue. And it kind of like writes it all down and like flies off. And Kiaran, which classes would you have signed up for?
I would have signed up for illusion, evocation, and abjuration, but I'm going to be focusing on the psionic and mental type spell casting.
Okay. So
Would I have seen Kiaran come back
uh
when she went back to the common area?
yeah, as she's headed back to
Kiaran, is your friend all right?
No, he's not. He's not getting any better, but he's not getting any worse. They don't really know what to do.
That's comforting.
I know, right? It's you would think that they would have done something more by now other than just letting him lay there. They haven't tried to, speak to him in any way or do anything like that. They said they can't figure out what's wrong, and they've contacted his family, and I know his family, and I know they'll be here as soon as they can get here. I don't know where they're at right now. They're also, part of the ambassador staff people. They're important, like my dad and stuff. But
Who did you speak to specifically?
it was her name was Milva. She was the cleric that was in charge of his care right now. It wasn't someone that was there before.
I'll see if I can get some actual answers.
Thank you. She
Maybe
didn't.
because you're a student, they didn't give you.
Yeah,
specific
she didn't know
information.
me, and I told her that the headmistress said that I could, be here, and she didn't make me leave, but she just didn't seem very like forthcoming.
Do I know, Stacks, who that is?
yeah, you would be familiar with like all the staff, whether they're professors or
So she's a real staff member?
yeah.
The solo was like, what's going on?
But yeah,
Um,
the clerics, they don't teach cleric magic here because clerics learn their things from their own studies as well as typically druids and also paladins. So, um, because of their healing capabilities, there is a cleric ward that usually resides within the school that just ushers out different clerics from time to time. Um, but they don't learn their magic from here. They learn it from their domains and things of that nature.
yeah, I feel like there's something going on here in the school. And I'll try to get some answers and let you know.
Thank you very much, Merrick. I knew I could depend on you to help me out.
Yes, well, at least I can do something, right? Instead of just reading my book.
Well, I see you reading so much. You have to be really well read, and you probably are pretty smart and know a lot of things.
Well, not sure how useful the information of the unlikely romance of owls and bears will do me in the real world, but the next book on my list is How to Get Away with Murder, so we'll see how that goes.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'll let you know what I come up with.
Is there anything that anyone else is doing before the days, or is Merrick going straight there to the med ward, or?
I probably will now. Like Nova is who Kiaran spoke with, but is there someone who's actually a boss, or someone who I would be my go-to for actual accurate information?
So
Because
there's
Merrick and
Milva,
Solo feel like people are hiding
and
information on
then
them.
Milva's the current head cleric at the med ward. Let's see.
You said Milvan?
Milva, Milva.
Milva. Yeah, I'll just go straight there.
Okay.
Is Milva a woman?
Yes, she is a high elf cleric.
I don't. How? Never mind. knock on the door?
Yep, she would have made her way back to her kind of closing room. Yes, come in.
Nova,
Oh, Mr. Merrick.
yes. How are you? How have you been?
Oh, I've been, busy. Are you okay? Do you need to see a cleric?
No, I'm fine. Well, as fine as I can be, anyway. There was a young lad who was consumed by the shadows.
Ah, yes, Mr. What's his name? Daranath? Yes, his parents are supposed to be coming tomorrow.
What's the status on him?
From what it has appeared, he was one of the students involved in that shadow incident today, and his status is just not very responsive.
And we don't know the cause.
No, if we knew more about what exactly happened, it might help with treatment. But presently, my clerics have tried various restorations, um, lesser, greater, any kind that you can think, and nothing seems to be jarring the lad.
Um, refresh my memory. This is the kid I stabbed, right?
Yeah.
Because it was more than us being in the shadows. He was being controlled or puppeted, correctly?
Yeah. Mm.
Has that been conveyed to these clerics?
Yeah, so there is essentially a relay ability that kind of permeates throughout the school. Basically, they can trace down magic lineages that everyone signed when they got there, and any magic or magic varieties can kind of show them a pocket replay of recent events. So they were able to like see everything that went down, but
I see.
they still don't have any particular answers.
Have I, as Merrick, ever experienced anything like this
Rule
in the war or anything like that?
history or arcana check.
I will. That's a natural 20
Okay.
for +2 regardless, so 22.
So during the war, you have experienced seeing people kind of respond in the way that Glitch did. His eyes were the first kind of like notable trigger. You do consider them to be people that are affected by the Black Plague, basically the book that you came across and its relation to everything else.
Yeah.
You notice it could be a side effect of that.
Okay. Have you tried removing curses or anything like that?
Well, yes, I mean, within our capabilities, that is. If I have to call down to the actual cleric temple to send in one of our high clerics, I will, but his condition doesn't seem to lessen any or show that he is degrading, if you will.
But it still appears that there's something holding on to him.
That we're not sure of exactly. There normally is traces like arcane traces or, side effects.
Yes.
We haven't been able to see anything of that nature. If we open his eyes, they look normal. I mean, dilated, but normal. And his overall body composure doesn't have any signs of infection or things of that nature.
Okay. Well, do you hear anything else or any new news? Please let me know. But I would like to be present when his parents arrive.
Excellent. They should arrive early morning, roughly an hour or two before noon.
All right. Until then,
Have a good night.
you as well. And I'll go back to the MySpace or whatever.
Okay. The next day happens. Roll initiative, students.
Do we get long rests?
Yes, if you.
For some reason, I wasn't at full health, so I didn't. I don't know.
I think you got attacked while you were in the shadow area, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I
S-
think that was it.
So I know we're rolling initiative.
I got a 27.
Okay.
I got a 15 for initiative.
Okay.
12.
What was yours, Levern?
Let me roll
Okay.
initiative. 23.
Okay. Yeah, you all make it up. Your first class would be relayed to you as evocation.
Do we get our allowances since it's a new day?
Yes. Well, the allowance is like a sessionary thing, so you get it at the start of the session.
Yeah. Sorry, that's what I meant. Because I knew we were continuing the previous day, and normally we start on the next day. But cool.
It was a really long day.
Yeah, it was.
It covered 3 sessions.
Well, between the 3 sessions, y'all have only been at the school for like 2 days. Well,
Right.
The new students, at least. So with that, you all make it to Professor Lone's classroom without much of a hitch. You see this tabaxi kind of standing in his space, and he waits for you all to kind of usher in and sit down wherever you would like. The room itself, kind of dark. The lighting in it isn't of normal candlelight fire. There's these like purpley wisps off in each corner, giving it a very dim, dark feel aesthetic. The room feels warm for some reason. You're not sure why. Not uncomfortably warm, just like lived in. And there's books lined all throughout the walls, from every corner that you can see. And he kind of is stood in the center of the room. The student body kind of like wraps around in almost like a circle type room setting. And as you all sit down, good evening, everyone. I am Professor Lone. You may refer to me as Professor Lone. You all here for evocation, I believe. If you are not, please leave. And he kind of looks around at all of you present. So, is there anyone here that can tell me exactly what evocation magic is? What determines evocation magic? What are its limits? What are its magnitudes? Anyone? There's no wrong answers.
Kenya raises her hand.
Yes, Miss Torhorn.
Evocation magic. It uses kind of like a raw magical energy, right? Like elemental almost?
More or less, yes. Evocation magic can be very, very powerful, dangerous, which is why I am teaching you all. there's certain things about magic in general that can be considered powerful, weak, or any of the in-betweens. However, if you all consider yourself students of myself, I expect nothing but excellence. If you are terrible at evocation magic, you will get better until you are great. Was that clear?
She kind of just shrinks back into her book.
Great. Can I have 2 volunteers?
I'll volunteer.
Miss Talabrina, please stand here at my right.
Okay.
I would like 1 more volunteer.
Kitty, you come up here. You know.
No. I answered the question. I'll let someone else
Miss
do it.
Torhorn, here at my left.
Reluctantly, she kind of gets up from her seat, grabbing her wizard staff, and slowly makes her way to his side.
As you both come down and stand at his left and right, respectively, he
I
looks
like
at
your hat, Kenia.
the 2 of you. She's like, "Don't talk to me! I don't want to be here!" He looks to the 2 of you. Right, so have any of you actually been in any type of confrontation in your entire life?
Yeah.
No.
Well, Ms. Torhorn, that changes for you today. You stand over there on that star pattern, and you, Miss Talabrina, stand on the moon pattern.
Okay.
Are you sure you want me to do this? I can let someone else do it, Professor.
No, you'll be perfectly fine.
She goes and stands on the fucking star.
As you both find yourself stood in that space, there's kind of a hum that radiates over you. May I make it perfectly clear that so long as you stay in those circles, regardless of the magic that incomes, you will not take harm. However, if you take 1 toe out of place, you will receive the magic as is intended.
I cast frostbite on her.
Oh God.
Here we go. So
But
Kiara,
I do it so that it doesn't hurt her. I hold back the power. I mean, it's just a cantrip, but
is that one just to hit? Or is
It's a
that
con
save?
save.
Okay.
Con save.
Kiaran, make a con save.
me or her?
Oh, sorry, Kenya. All these Ks.
16.
I got a 19.
Okay. Yep. The frostbite kind of like starts to ease closer to you. You see it like inching towards the star pattern, and remembering that you're supposed to hold your ground, you just stand firm, and it kind of like dissipates before it gets to you.
That was so good, Kenya. I was holding back, but you did a really good job. I'm glad you were stronger than what my spell was. That was really cool.
Well, Miss Talabrina, I do not believe I said to attack yet.
I thought you were telling us to. Okay. Sorry.
Right. Now that you are understood of what the rules are, I would like you all to attack each other. First person actually hit loses. And you watch as the arcane symbol of that moon or star that is underneath you appears diagonally from you across, forcing you to have to move in order to not receive any damage. Can I have you both roll initiative?
16.
21.
Okay. Kiaran, you can move first.
I jump over to my moon
Okay.
and I cast Firebolt.
All right.
I mean, we're kind of limiting to conjuration spells, right?
Well, mostly
Evocation.
evocation, but
I meant evocation. Sorry, that's what I meant. I mean, these are all both evocation spells.
Okay. Kiaran.
19 to hit.
All right.
Yeah.
Kiaran, make a wisdom save.
Ha. 20. Dirty
Okay.
20.
So yeah, you make your way over to the area. That plume of hum kind of issues out. Kenya, you're kind of not used to this. You see the firebolt coming, and you're not sure if you're gonna able to move out of the way. And sure enough, it kind of like singes off of you, forcing you to fall down in your space. Right.
I learned a long time ago, Kenya, that you have to be ready.
She kind of uses her staff to kind of like get herself back up.
I didn't hurt you.
Actually, she wasn't standing in her spot.
Oh,
What was the damage for the firebolt?
it's 2d10, so I really hope it's low.
Oh god.
It's only 7.
You receive 7 points of fire damage, Kenya, as the firebolt kind of like burns your arm a bit.
Easy, Kiaran. Jeez.
Look, I could have hurt her really bad, and I didn't. I thought she was going to be standing on her thing, so it wouldn't hurt her at all.
You're muted, Leverin. Sorry.
My bad. I was literally unmuted, then muted myself. Leverin's not in the very front, but kind of in the middle. He's just snickering under his cloak a little bit.
Are you okay, Kenny? I really am sorry. I feel bad now.
It's fine. It's my fault. I didn't step on the shape. It's my fault. It's fine. I'm fine.
I don't have any mending.
My turn, right?
Well,
I cast Fireball.
Professor Lone looks at you and he's like, Miss Torhorn,
Yes, sir.
it would seem you were hit.
So it seems. Can I go sit down now?
Yes, you can go return to your seat.
She immediately goes back to her seat.
Can I try to cast Cure Wounds on her?
Yeah, are you like sat next to her or?
I mean, I don't know.
She would be sitting in the very back of the classroom,
I'd probably be somewhere
like
close
in
to
the
that.
farthest possible corner.
Yeah, you can make your way over to her, Natari, and cast Cure Wounds.
I'll ask her. Can I help you? Can I like help make this feel better?
She kind of just looks over at you. No. It's fine. Really, it's fine. I'm fine.
Sure.
Yeah. I'm fine. Thank you, though. Thank you. And she kind of like goes back to writing.
And I'll just go back to my seat.
Hey, you guys, I wonder where Luth is. I didn't see him this morning in the common room, and then I don't know what classes he's taking. I hope he's okay. I'm sorry, Professor. I mean to interrupt.
It's
Am I done?
Fine. Yes, you can return to your seat, Miss.
Okay, thank you.
Can anyone else express why it is important to always be prepared? Miss Torhorn.
Because if not, you might get burnt.
Yes, well, that's one way to look at it. You will find that magic is not as easy as it seems, and once you gain higher levels, there would be better equipment for you all to prepare and protect yourselves. However, I would like it to be known that there is something that you all should be prepared for if you attend my classes. There will be a point where I will have you all pair up into teams, and the team that wins passes. The team that does not, does not.
Who wants to be on my team?
As much as I enjoy your enthusiasm, Miss Talabrina, you will not know who your teammates are necessarily. Forcing you all to work with each other regardless of the stint.
I think that's probably a good thing.
Now, are there any other volunteers? Miss Anisi?
I guess.
You can do it, Atari.
Yes.
Do I go stand up there?
Yes, you can stand at my right.
Okay. Stand up there.
Levrin, over here. Oh no, you're muted.
Levin stands up and kind of sighs and walks up to the professor. Is it just magic that we can use?
Yes, however, might not be what you are thinking. The two of you will experience a barrage of different attacks coming towards you. However, you must work together to ensure that neither of you are subject to such matters.
Levin kind of scowls. I'm not too well versed in working with others, Professor. Maybe someone else should come up and do this.
No, you need to learn to work with other people, Everin. You're a little bit too much of a loner. I like hanging out with people, and you should, you're part of our group. You need to be hanging out with us.
Levin grimaces under the hood of his cloak like, Very well, Professor. Let's get this over with.
Professor Lone looks at you all and kind of like snaps his fingers, and you see the symbols shift position on the fields, knowing that there are areas that you can stand on that will protect you from any damage should you not be able to kind of counteract it. But as those are there, you immediately see like one after another up into 10 different wisps of like purplish fiery hue kind of appear in the space around the two of you. Very well, shall we begin?
Okay.
Oh, God.
Levin kind of like shakes himself, loosens himself up, and kind of like gets into a stance to dodge these attacks.
Okay. Can I have you two roll for initiative?
16.
That's an 8.
Okay. Leverin, what would you like to do?
Um, I'm going to take my dagger and throw it at Professor Lone.
Roll to hit.
Does an 18 hit?
Yes, it does. Leverin, you throw your dagger and it connects into the teacher's shoulder, and many of the students' eyes wide kind of like look at you, and there's like shock and other things like, what are you doing? I'm like, is he crazy? He attacked the teacher.
6 damage. And
Professor
do
Lone-
the purple fiery hue things disappear?
No, they don't.
No.
Professor Lone looks at you, grimaces a bit, rips the dagger out of his right shoulder. I believe this is yours, Mr. Ryder.
Leverin walks up and takes the dagger, wipes off the blood, puts it back, and he looks up at Professor Lone. So he looks at Professor Lone and goes, "Sorry, Professor. I thought it was a concentration spell you were doing. You know, better to get rid of an attack completely than have to react to it."
Natari, make a perception check.
To be an 18.
Okay. You watch as all 10 of those purple fiery hues just zone in on Leverin and all attack him at the same time. Leverin, make a dex save.
Make 10 dex saves.
It's gonna be a 21.
Okay.
Is the source of the spell coming? Can I tell where it's coming from?
You can make an Arcana check.
13.
So obviously that there's a lot going on, but you kind of see in that circle space that y'all are stood in, there are different runes kind of like lit up, and you kind of notice that they lit up the moment those purple orbs appeared.
Okay.
Did I make my deck save?
For the first one, you dodge and this hits to the ground and like dissipates. However, the other ones like swirl back around to come back towards you. What would you like to do, Leverin?
I'm gonna run. I'm gonna try and move to the next circle.
Okay. As soon as you get to that, safe glyph, it moves out of your positioning. Now, Mr. Ryder, do you think I would make it that easy? Deck save.
Leverin glances at right before the thing comes at Leverin. Leverin kind of glances over and like a very angry scowl, and deck save. 15.
Okay. You watch as you move out of the way. You kind of like fall back a little, and this next ball just like and like lands right in between your legs, like right inches away from precious cargo.
Well, we know what I need to make.
Just barely. But yep, they.
Can I do a perception check to see if they're blockable?
Do a
Arcana?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's negative. That's a 5.
Okay. Kind of preoccupied with, not wanting to be singed. You try and see, but you can't really tell if these are magic constructs or if they're just programmed to attack anything in the area, more or less.
Um,
And
I'm gonna
Natari,
cast.
what are you
Oh,
doing now that you see these two attacks? Leverin's able to dodge the first two, but they're still. Luckily, they're not targeting you, but
Um, I'm gonna try to cast Dispel Magic on one of the rune that was lit up that
Okay.
I noticed.
And is that a save?
No, it just says choose one creature, object, or magical effect within range. Any spell of 3rd level or lower on that target ends. For each spell of 4th level or higher on the target, make an ability check using your spellcasting ability.
Okay. Let me see. Let me pull up your thingamajig. Your thingamadoodad.
I guess I could target the specific magical effect too.
So if your cast DC is 13. Okay.
If it's 4th or higher.
You see the glyph kind of like dimmer a bit and then turn back on right away. You see one of the lights from the fires like flicker but stay um in veracity. Good attempt, Miss Inisi, but you must do better. What are you doing, Leverin?
um, um, I'm gonna do. I'm gonna try and I want to cast Dispel Magic on the actual orbs.
Okay. What's
And
your DC? What level are you casting the spell, I should say?
oh, it's a 3rd level.
So it's 13 as well. Okay. Nope. You try. You see them like flicker for a little bit, but then stay in form.
And then I'm going to I
Make a
try.
dex save.
Oh God. Oh goodness me. Oh, thank God. 20.
Okay. Sure enough, you make it out of the way. This next one kind of it almost singes one of the students' desks, but you dodge out of the way.
And then I do like a little I take my dagger out with my sword and do a little sword flourish and give Natari bardic inspiration.
Okay.
So that's
that
gonna
do?
be it's gonna be 1d8.
1d8 added on to rolls, or
Yeah, so you can add it to one ability check, attack roll, or saving throw.
okay.
And then this can be added after seeing the roll, but before knowing like the outcome.
Natari, make a perception check.
Good God, that's a 6 natural one.
Okay. What would you like?
Completely unobservant. I am going to cast create water as a like rainfall in a 30-foot cube, like around where these little fiery light things are, and try to extinguish them.
Okay. As you do that, as the water kind of permeates in the room and settles in, the wisps all sizzle out, and
So everyone bought a rain.
you find yourself in like
I don't
that circly area. Just
Yep.
You watch as Professor Lone looks at you and gives you a slight nod. Very good, Miss Anisi.
Thank
Way
you.
to go, Natari.
Yay.
That was so smart. Lever, you could learn a thing or two from her.
Leverett's kind of breathing hard from all the running around he had to do. And he's like, he looks at Kiaran and he just shakes his head like, don't play with me right now.
I'm
And just walks
playing.
walks back, looks at Professor Lone, a little guilty from hitting him with his dagger, because he feels bad. And
I really don't think Lever thinks about stabbing anyone, to be honest.
what's a little different with Professor Lone? But he just walks back to his desk, kind of a little, not defeated, but a little bit more resolved.
Is that all, Professor?
Yes, you can
Okay.
take your seat.
She'll go back to her seat. I'll be right back.
Okay. And as you all are sat there, you watch as he calls up different other students and puts them through various other evocation trials. You can see in Professor Lone's demeanor that while he's very strict, he does like creativity when the students are kind of trying to think outside of the box to get over their trials rather than just face it directly. Because of this, the class goes on as needed, and you all find yourself sat there looking at him. Okay, class, your homework today, should you decide to attend my class tomorrow, will be to find true levels of evocation in the real world or in the academy and find a way to dissipate it. I have programmed a certain level of tricks and things of that nature, if you can find them throughout the school. Those that find the most, good luck on you. Any questions?
Kenya is kind of was like throughout the class, like starting to like daydream a bit, but then she kind of comes back to reality, hearing the professor's voice. I'm sorry, Professor. What was the homework?
Right, Miss Torhorn. I would like you all to find different evocation out in the real world or throughout the academy and dissipate it. I have set up various tricks throughout the school, and those that dissipate the most, it's a good thing. Class dismissed.
Kenya is gonna grab up all of her supplies, get up, and leave.
Yarn's going to try to rush out of the room, and she's going to start looking for any signs of evocation magic.
Okay. Make a perception check.
And
As you exit, you can't see anything offhand. You're not exactly sure what Professor Lone means by tricks, but there's nothing that like stands out to you as not supposed to be there.
okay, and then I'm gonna wait on everybody else then.
How much time do we have like per class before we have to go to our next one?
You'll hear like an audible ding in your mind when your next class is like an hour away. Just to give you kind of a heads up, you would have roughly an hour or two in between classes to kind of prepare for the next one. Considering this isn't like a curriculum of normal nature, you can take more or less classes depending on maximum of like 4, I would imagine, per day. But yeah.
Yeah, after I didn't see anything, and probably I didn't see anything because I was mostly thinking about Kenia and I heard her, and so I'm going to try to catch up to her and apologize.
Kenya, are you out in the open where you can be seen, or are you just like...
Oh no, I am full on booking it to the library away from everybody.
Okay, do a let's go with perception check, Kiaran, and then if you're trying to hide or not be outwardly seen, do a stealth check, Kenya, or sleight of hand, depending.
I rolled
Yeah,
my
that's a 7.
this time. I rolled a 19.
That's a 7.
Oh gosh. So you imagine from seeing her with a book earlier that she might have went to the library, Kiaran, and that's kind of where you went to look for her first. Where are you? Are you just like sat at a table reading?
Are there like seats near a window that?
Yeah, there's like seats there.
Okay, well then Kenya will have found a seat by the window, set her stuff down, take out her evocation book, and she is going to, or no, not that. She's going to pull out her transmutation book, and she's going to like open it to a certain page, kind of like okay, and then she is going to try practicing precipitation.
Okay. And are you doing like sounds or
just like
light or
lights, like little sparks?
Okay.
Gonna come out from her hand.
It doesn't take you too long, Kiaran, with that roll, but you do find her like off by a window seat, just practicing magic to herself.
So Karen's just going to walk right up and sit down straight across from her, just kind of sliding in and putting her book on the table and say, "Hi, Kenya. Before you say anything, let me apologize. I did not mean to hurt you even a little bit.
Oh,
And I really feel bad about it.
It's fine. Really, I mean, we're here to study magic, and like I said earlier, it was kind of my fault anyway. I should have been stepping on the star. I mean,
yeah, but sometimes I get a little overeager, maybe a little too enthusiastic. I mean,
yep,
Natari kind of said that to me yesterday when I first met you, that I was a little too much, a little extra, and I'm gonna really try to tone it down a little bit, and I just want to be your friend, and I'm sorry.
It's fine, really. I forgive you.
All right, can we be friends?
Sure.
I mean, do you have a other group of friends?
Oh no. I mean, I'm always studying, so no.
Well, if you're always studying, you should be really good then.
I guess there's still a lot I need to learn clearly, like, not stand in front of of an attack.
Well, what was that you were doing? I saw like little sparkly things when I walked in.
I was just practicing my precipitation spell.
Oh, I
That's
don't know
all.
that one.
Yeah, it's pretty neat. You can create these lights and sounds, and uh, it's really like cool to use. If you want to like cause a distraction or
Oh,
or add some flair to something like
yeah,
that.
that's really, really cool. I don't know if I can, I don't think I can learn that one, but that does seem like it could be really handy.
Yeah.
So anyway, what's your next class?
Conjuration.
Oh,
You mean
I have that class too.
abjuration? Wait, did you put abjuration or conjuration?
Or maybe it was abjuration. I can't remember if I picked conjuration or abjuration. Maybe
yeah.
it was abjuration.
I think it was abjuration because I picked that one too.
Okay. Gosh, I don't even remember. I think it was abjuration or conjuration.
Okay. Well, I have abjuration too, but you know what? You seem like I'm gonna give you some space. I'm gonna go find something to eat. But I mean, you want to go get something to eat with me, or are you gonna stay here?
Oh no. I'm just gonna stay here and practice my spells a little more.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I mean, if you need anything, just let me know. All right.
Okay.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
I'm gonna look around in the library and see if I see any evocation things
Okay.
hanging around.
Roll a Arcana check.
$20.
As you're making your way through the different columns and rows of books, you hear kind of like a wispy sound off in the distance. What?
Okay, I'm gonna go investigate that, or I'm gonna go look.
Okay. As you go close, you see a light for a brief moment, kind of round a corner.
I'm gonna peek around the corner and like not expose myself completely, but I'm gonna look and see what I see.
Okay. Roll a stealth check.
Natural 1 for 4.
You peek around the corner, and immediately in your face is this plume of light that has like traces of light skidding behind it. And it sees you, and it like darts off down the hall like super fast. Just.
Damn, that was bright. I'm gonna chase it.
Okay. As you're running after it in this library, Natari, what are you doing?
Sorry. I would have just kind of left the class and whichever my next class would be, which would probably be the conjuration.
Mm-hmm.
I would have just kind of gotten somewhere in the vicinity of where that is, and like I would just plop down and read a book. And then kind of like looking around to see if anything odd pops up, but not really actively hunting anything down.
Okay. And around this time, Merrick, the uh, Daranath, mother and father of Saris, arrive at the academy. Milva finds you, and you two kind of like usher towards the kind of second level main area where that large tree is to greet them. And you see these two Tritons, very well dressed, kind of enter into the space. They look at the two of you and kind of like bow slightly. Yes, I hear that you have my son at the med ward. Are we allowed to see him? And Milva kind of nods and looks at the two of you. Yes, we can go see your son right away. This here is Mr. Merrick. He will be accompanying us. He might have a couple of questions to try and better aid assessing how we can treat your boy. And they nod, and without much effort, Milva kind of leads you all towards the med bay area. You all enter into that room that Saris is laying in his bed at. The mother kind of goes over and sits down next to him, kind of like softly rubbing his arm, trying to counsel him, while the father looks at the two of you. How did this happen? I heard shadow play, some nonsense. I don't understand why my boy is injured like this.
It's a great question as well. We are still working hard to find out why he is the only one isolated like this. Let me ask you a question. Has he ever had any episodes in the past?
Episodes? Like, what, what do you mean?
Like not really acting like himself.
Well,
Doing something out of character.
he was just home, not but 2 or 3 months ago when we had our family gathering, and he seemed just as fine. I mean, he's growing into his teenager years. I imagine he doesn't want to be held up by his parents every 2 seconds, but he seemed like normal Saris.
How old is he?
He would be roughly 16, 17. Triton years.
So like puberty or
Yeah,
past
like puberty for whatever Tritons are. They're the same.
Interesting. No, there's no cause for alarm or anything, but this might be too personal. But answer if you can. Is there anyone that would seek ill will of you or your family? Do you owe a debt to anyone? Do you have a quarrel with anyone?
Oh, gods, no, I couldn't think of anyone offhand. We are relatively well known throughout the community, but we don't step on anyone's toes.
All right. No, kind of just take a slight step back.
And the father kind of like goes over to the other side of the bed and looks over his son. Milva kind of looks back at them and then over to you. Something doesn't seem right about all this. For him to be the only affected student. Well, Merrick, you said when... And she's whispering in a way that the two of you can hear. She's not talking out loud. But you said the two of you were... well, you encountered him and he seemed a bit different.
This is the mother?
This is Milva, the cleric. The head cleric.
Yes, he seemed to be controlled by someone else.
Right. Well, that insinuates that there's a third party involved. Or at least a second. Well, I don't want to keep you if you don't have anything for them. They should be here for, I imagine, the day, and then head out this evening. If you can think of any other questions to ask them, I'll try and ensure that they're present for it. But you are a busy man, and I don't want to force you to.
Sure. Yeah, just keep me abreast of any changes,
Will do.
and I'll walk out.
Okay. Leverin, what are you doing after class? The first class? Oh, he's muted.
Yeah, I got it.
Oh,
After we came out of class, I kind of veered off, and I'm looking for the evocation like tricks that Professor Lone said he put out, and working my way around to my next class with Professor Littlefoot.
Okay, make a perception check.
Perception. 19.
You two see a wisp like off in the distance, and shortly after, you see a very persistent Kiaran kind of like running after it, and then it like ducks down another hall, and she goes after it.
Oh no.
This one's mine.
um, Leverin watches it and shakes his head. I'm not putting in that effort. And just keeps walking, and is kind of just twirling his dagger as he just walks down the hallways without a care in the world for the moment.
Okay. Kenya, what are you doing?
I'm still gonna be continuing to practice my prestidigitation spell for probably until I felt that it was good enough. And then she's going to kind of like skim through the books in the library, kind of like pull out different books for different schools of like magic. So she'll like pull out a book for evocation, conjuration, abjuration, illusion. And she's gonna kind of take the book, open it up, and then start reading.
Okay. And as you're doing that, you're kind of like working through different prestidigitation magic in conjunction as you're skimming through the pages. Have you roll a d20?
A 5.
Okay. You go to cast harmless sparks. Just what you've been doing for the past
Oh no.
30 minutes now.
Oh no.
Have you make a dex save?
Oh no. Not again. 16.
Should have took up that healing, homegirl. You watch as the sparks explode off, and like these sparks kind of like shoot out everywhere. And you're just like, you manage to like dodge any of that sway directly at you, but
Not very harmless.
there does seem to be a couple of wisps that shot off and hit some of the books, and they're kind of lighting on fire.
No! And she's gonna like start patting the fire out.
Okay. Make a survival check.
12.
As you try and pat the flames out, they seem to like be giving the flames life, and it's just making it worse. And you watch as Howlin, the daytime librarian, owl folk type individual, he's very Raven-esque in his appearance, kind of like saunters up to you, wavers his hand a bit, and the flames dissipate. Yes, can I ask that you do not light the library on fire?
I'm sorry. It was an accident. I'm sorry. It won't happen again.
He kind of nods and then kind of like on toe makes his way back to the front of the library.
Kenya has like this look of like, God, not again. Like this god awful look on her face. Man, I thought I had it. I thought, oh. And she's gonna pick up this slightly burnt book, reading from it again.
How much time do we have before our next class?
So you hear an audible ding. Kiaran, Levrin, and Kenya to insinuate that abjuration is coming up soon, roughly in an hour. So about an hour.
I'm still chasing that moat thing.
Yep. You corner it down to like this hallway that it doesn't really have any exits, and it's like looking back and forth, and it can't do anything, and it just like stares at you, just like, "Oh, wait, bring it!"
All right. So Kiaran says, "Okay, I got you now," and I use my telekinetic and cast an invisible mage hand.
Okay.
And so it's kind of like a catcher's mitt in baseball. And as it tries to dart to one side, I catch it because it didn't see the mage hand, and I close down and extinguish it because my telekinetic mage hand is stronger and can actually like attack with it, sort of attack with it. Yeah.
Okay. Do this with a Arcana check.
Natural 20.
Sweet. Yep, no problem. Your hand comes out of nowhere, literally, and grabs down on this wisp and crushes it, dissipating the magical effect. And you hear, "Good job. 1 point."
Yes. I got this in the bag.
And so it begins. Around that time, Levern, you see off in the distance these books kind of like flapping, which, you know, magical school doesn't really come up, except they're on fire.
Oh man. So how far away roughly are they?
From you, they're about 60 feet.
60 feet?
Mhm.
Okay. I'm gonna rush 40 feet forward and try and let's see here. I'm gonna use dispel magic again to
Okay.
try and put out the fire.
That's just 13 save. You watch as you try, and the book just like flaps and kind of like shoots out of a window opening and like goes out into the next kind of layer of the school, more where the cafeteria and food court is.
I follow him. After trying to dispel it, Lemon goes, "Damn it!" and rushes forward and jumps out the window, through the window that the books just went through.
Okay.
And I'm gonna point and cast Cloud of Daggers around the books to keep them from going anywhere.
Okay. Do a acrobatics check as you try and clear this window.
21.
Yep, no problem. You just shoot out. And you said cast Cloud of Daggers.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna use the daggers to like go into the book and pin it down so I can put the flames out.
Okay. Roll a 4d4.
Where is it? Okay. Yeah, it's just 44. 9.
Okay, so 9 of these daggers come out and they just like ching 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 into the book, and you see it like hit into the ground. As it hits the base of it, the flames kind of like dissipate. So these daggers are just like in this book now, and you hear in your head, "Good job, 1 point."
Leverin walks up to the book and kind of smirks. I knew I could do it. And dissipates the daggers.
Okay, the daggers vanish, and it's just this book that doesn't really have anything in it. It's just blank pages.
I just pick it up and carry it with me to Professor Littlefoot's class.
Okay. As you all are going about your day, it comes time for abjuration class, so you make your way down to the lower levels of the school, and when you get to Professor Littlefoot's, for those that haven't attended to it, it's not in a classroom per se. You walk into this door that you would assume to be a classroom, and it's kind of open. Still relatively circular in its presence. However, it's open to where you can see the sky, and there's a couple of trees off in the distance. There's no real place to sit. And it's just the three of you. And Professor Littlefoot looks at you all. Right. So, are you all ready?
I'm ready.
Ready as I'll ever be, Professor.
Have any of you ever traveled in the mist alone?
Leverin kind of like takes a step back, trying not to be noticed.
I have.
Yes, well, that's where we're going today.
I'm ready.
And he goes over, picks up a satchel of arrows and puts it over his back, and then like puts this bow over him as well. You watch as he this crossbow over him as well, and you watch as he has like a hand crossbow at his side and another heavy crossbow in his hands. Follow me. And he proceeds to walk past you out of the door and down that hallway towards the outside of the school.
Leverin kind of moves over to Kiaran a little bit and just looks at her, and he kind of goes, "Why the heck does he have all those crossbows and bows?" Because
Are
like,
you ready, Kiara?
Leverin has 2 short swords with a dagger, but even he's like, what? And Kieran can kind of see like this befuddled expression on his face.
What's wrong, Leverin?
Nothing's wrong. He has so many weapons. I just
Oh yeah,
wonder what he needs them for.
I was wondering the same thing. I think we're going on a hunt.
I think so
But
too.
I mean, I can use a crossbow, but that's crazy. Well, he is a ranger, you know.
Yes, that's true. And
Maybe
then
that's just the way he rolls.
Levern kind of laughs a bit, but like subtly, like a chuckle. Yeah, I think you're right, Kiaran. And then Levern kind of like nudges her like upper arm a little bit and goes, "Hey, great job in Professor Lone's class, by the way. You did really well."
Thank you. You did good too.
I
mean,
appreciate it.
That was pretty. How do I put this? Ballsy, hitting, you know, the professor with a knife. I mean, just threw it and
As you
stabbed her.
say
Right.
that, Professor Littlefoot like stops. Wait. And he like looks at you three. You attacked Professor Lone.
Yeah, he thought that the attacks were coming from Professor Lone and thought, well, maybe he's concentrating, so I'm just gonna throw a knife at him. And he stabbed him right in the shoulder.
Lever looks at Professor Littlefoot and goes, "Absolutely not. I never attacked Professor Lone. It was just merely a scare tactic, and I tried to throw it at his feet, and I missed. And I want to roll for deception."
Kenya like adjusts her glasses a bit. That's not what I remember seeing.
Oh no, it's a 9.
Oh gosh.
You should probably roll that at disadvantage because we all just told what happened.
I mean, a 9's not going to make it anyway.
Well, all I'm saying, Professor Littlefoot, and I'm going to wink really big, is maybe you shouldn't turn your back on Leverin. And I'm going to wink really big and make it obvious I'm just playing, although maybe it's true.
Professor Littlefoot like looks at you all, this Goliath of a man, and just kind of like roll a insight check.
Oh, of course I get a 17 on that.
14.
20, non-natural.
Natural 20. That's like 2 in a row. That never happens.
You all notice what could possibly be a smirk as he turns on heel and kind of heads out of the school. He leads you all into that open space right before the descent in the stairs that lead into this very thick mist. It's pretty much the school, and it's like mist. You can't even see a drop off, as if the moment you walk off these stairs, you might just fall into oblivion. This is the mist, Miss Tohorn.
That's definitely missed, Professor. Yep.
Tell me, do you have any abjuration spells?
I think so. Hold on. I have Blade Ward. I have Shield. And what else do I have? I dispel magic. I have quite a few.
Good. You'll probably need those. And he just starts walking into the mist.
Uh,
And you watch
wait,
as he
Professor!
vanishes.
Okay. She kind of like clutches her books close to her with her wizard staff and proceeds to move forward.
I would have, as soon as he turned to walk away, I would have cast Fairy Fire on him so I wouldn't lose him.
Okay. What's the save for that?
16.
Okay.
No, he's just not going to allow it. No, okay.
Yes.
Hey, nice.
And him and the fairy fire go into the mist.
I don't want to follow him. Can you keep up with me? Come on, Leverin, you too.
Levin raises an eyebrow, like, "Excuse me."
I mean, you don't want
but
to be left
starts to
behind by
walk.
yourself, do
But
you? You seemed a little worried.
no, I'm fine. And
Okay.
kind of like jogs to catch up.
As soon as y'all hit the mist, make perception checks.
God, I suck at perception rolls.
8.
7.
14.
I'm proficient in perception. What the heck is this?
You all hear it, but Leverin, it kind of hits you a little bit more because you've been in this mist. You hear this howl off in the distance. You're not exactly sure what caused it, but it doesn't sound friendly.
That didn't sound good. Not too inviting.
I immediately draw both short swords. Yeah.
Already
Does,
magic
any,
missile.
does anyone have any knowledge on beasts?
Well, Kenya, considering it howled, it's probably a wolf. Well, actually, I don't even know your name. So everyone just looks back. Probably a wolf.
Would Kenya have read anything about any beasts or anything like that?
Make a survival or nature check.
14.
There is a lot of different beasts in the valley of Sagemist. There's almost like a series of horror stories that people tell of, especially when the mist is present. Individuals going out into the mist and never returning, some going out seeing horrible things and barely making it back, and others unable to express the fears that they came across. But you are familiar enough to know that it could be a number of different types of beasts within the forest surrounding this valley-esque area of Sagemist. Wolves, not the highest that you're worried about.
I'm gonna. Kiaran's just gonna think about it for a second, and then she decides to cast mage armor on herself.
Okay.
I'm gonna cast Long Strider on myself.
And as you all go closer in, you see Professor Littlefoot sat there. He's kind of like resting on what appears to be like a stone that's like kind of fissured out of the ground. With his Goliath stature, it almost looks like it's a chair, but it's a very large stone. And he looks at all of you. Well, it would appear that neither of you tried to stealth up. It seems your instincts aren't in the midst of survival. There are quite a few things out here that will try to kill you. As long as you stay close, you should be fine.
Yeah, why do you think I cast fairy fire on you? I didn't want to lose you.
Well,
I think that was pretty smart,
yes,
actually.
I still have a running bet that you won't last a week, if I'm correct, Miss Talabrina.
While he's distracted talking to her, I want to stealth up
Okay.
and kind of like surprise him. 26 and 23, so 26.
you watch as oh no, this isn't going to be good. You watch as his eyes flicker and yeah, he vanishes. Not only does he cast Pass Without a Trace, which increases his stealth checks by 10. But yeah, you all see Professor Littlefoot sat there, and then he just kind of like fades into the mist.
What
That's a cool
about
trick.
what about me?
Kenya's gonna cast Blade Ward on herself.
Can I tell if Professor Littlefoot saw me stealth up? Because he and I got the same.
Well,
stealth.
he got 26 plus 10.
Oh, so he's
Yeah,
at
he got
36.
So
Okay.
he just like boof.
Like,
I guess
It's like,
that,
Okay.
You think you know how to stealth.
I guess that negates all of fairy fire somehow.
You see your wisp there, but like if you go into that space to like touch it,
you don't see
yeah,
anything,
you
I
don't see
guess.
anything.
That's weird.
Um, mm, mm, mm.
Well, I think we are on our own for a few minutes. Blade Ward was a good idea, Kenya. I've got my mage armor up. So, Leverin, I don't know what you got going on. I mean, you got a sword.
And as Kieran, like, well, I know she's looking around, but a bright light comes out in like the middle of the group as I cast light, and there's 20 feet of very bright light, and then off in the distance it goes out into dim light for another 20 feet
Okay.
as like a torch.
Are you sure that that's a good idea? Like she's asking, like adjusting your glasses. We're basically a beacon now.
Yeah, she makes a good point, Leverin.
A voice comes out of nowhere. Would you guys rather be able to see in fights or fight blindly?
Oh, we can't see anything in the mist anyway.
I can see just fine.
So as you're all standing there, it gets quiet, almost eerily quiet. You don't even hear Professor Littlefoot kind of like move away, but I need you all to make dexterity saves.
That's a 7.
19.
Nat 20 for a 26.
This girl's gonna die.
You said 19, Kiaran?
Yeah.
Between you and Leverin, you're able to dodge 2 bolts of from a crossbolt that shoot out. Kenya does a
I'm gonna cast shield as a reaction.
12 hit.
No.
You didn't even need it. You didn't even need it.
You don't see anything. You just see Kiaran kind of like move out of the way, and then shortly this bolt appears, and you just like instinctively move, and you see this crossbolt last second almost hit you. And you hear in the mist, it's usually easier if you aren't in the same spot. I suggest you all run.
I'm going to get rid of the light and then go behind the tree from where the air bolts came from, and stealth up again.
Okay. While you're rolling that stealth check, what is Kiaran and Kenya doing?
Kenya's gonna look to Kiaran. What should we do? Should we try to run?
I'm gonna say, I don't just maybe hide.
Kenya, roll a history check.
Here's my point. You don't want to run when you don't know where you're going. I learned that in the Underdark.
24.
It becomes clear to you why you've never actually signed up for an abjuration class, but becomes clear to you why so many students don't sign up for Professor Littlefoot's classes.
Note. Note taken.
All right, come with me. And
okay.
so we're gonna kind of head back towards where we entered the mist, but hide behind some trees. I'm gonna say, stay here. Just don't make a sound. And I'm gonna go like 30 feet away, and I'm going to sneak up into a tree.
Okay. Do a athletics check to climb, and then stealth checks when y'all are in your.
I mean, I don't think there's any way I can hide from a freaking level 20 ranger, but you know.
9 for stealth, by the way.
And that was a stacks for my stealth. It was a 21.
Okay. So
Athletics is 16.
For Kenya, like Kiaran leads you over to the spot, and she just says like hide, and she walks off, and you see her like vanish into the mist, and you're just like, ah! You think shrinking down and making yourself smaller is like hiding. You're not behind anything. You don't see anything.
I told her to get behind the tree.
She doesn't see a tree.
And yeah, so I rolled a 16 for an athletics check and an 18 for stealth.
Okay, so you start climbing this tree. You manage to get up there at a solid enough perch, and you kind of like hide. You're not sure which direction because those bolts, from what you can tell, were coming in all different kind of volleys. So from there, you all wait, and it gets quiet and quiet and quiet until you hear a snap.
I'm going to cast darkness.
Okay. Kenya, the snap is very close proximity to you.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Make a perception check at disadvantage.
Oh gosh. A 10.
10's enough. This large looming shadow kind of appears over you, and for a split second you think it's Professor Littlefoot getting the sneak up on you, until it comes into view a little bit closer, and it's this large owlbear just looking down at you, and it's like growling under its beak.
How far? Can I tell how far Kenya is away from me?
Make
is
a
it
perception check at
never mind.
disadvantage.
I'm only 30 feet away from her because that's what I said, and I know exactly where she is.
Yeah, that's no. I don't know where she's at.
And I'm assuming I would have heard that too.
Well, so the mist works and plays in a different way. It's not like visible seeing, more or less, like if you have dark vision or something of that nature. It's almost a perception nullifier. It makes it to where you trying to see through stuff doesn't really work because it's like a magical mist, essentially. It's not like weather mist.
It's kind of like darkness, but instead of being solid darkness, it's just a mist, basically.
Yes. And it does weird shit, but that's
right. But I mean, like, I'm literally like in the tree, just right by her, and I would have at least heard the.
What did you get on perception? Did you roll perception?
I haven't rolled perception.
Okay.
16.
Um, yeah, without much effort, you can kind of see. Do you have devil's eyes?
No.
Um, did you cast darkness on yourself?
Um, my what I didn't explain it very well, but my point is I was going to cast darkness on an area in the tree
Okay.
and then move away from it so that it might trick Littlefoot into thinking I was in the darkness.
Okay. So yeah, you're able to see kind of this large shadowy thing near where you left Kenya because she didn't move.
I'm gonna then I'm gonna cast. Wait a minute. I'm going to use my ability to for telepathic speech and make a connection with Kenya, and I'm just gonna say, "Don't move." I'm gonna tell you what's happening, but don't move. There's an owlbear coming up, and I don't want this to sound like bad, but it's gonna be focused on you. So you're kind of the bait, and I'm going to attack it while it doesn't know I'm here. Okay, don't move. And you hear this in your mind, and you obviously know it's me because nobody talks like Yarn.
Kenia just has her staff and her book clutched to her chest, staring at this owlbear.
Would I have heard the owlbear's growl?
Yeah, it's audible enough to where you know the direction that it is in.
Um, yeah, Levern will push off the tree and start moving towards the sound.
Okay.
Remaining stealthed.
As you do that, you get close enough and you do see this large figure off in the distance.
Is it easily identifiable as not a person,
Make
like a humanoid?
perception check.
All right. 16.
Yeah, roughly about now you can tell that it's definitely an owl bear. What would y'all like to do?
Go ahead.
Leverin's gonna hold off because he knows Littlefoot's a ranger and that this might be his companion. So Leverin's just gonna get within range, but kind of hold back and see what happens.
Okay. And Kiaran, what are you doing?
I'm gonna cast magic missile
Okay.
at second level.
Sweet. So after that, roll initiative, you three.
16.
15.
14.
And
I love that 16, 15, 14.
okay. Sweet. Kenya does a
Shield.
17 plus 25 hit.
Damn it. Even with shield. Yeah, hits. Fuck.
You watch as this owlbear comes down with a claw towards you, and you take
Like, did my magic missile not hit?
Yeah, I'll play them all at the same time. Let's see. 1, 2, 2d8 plus 5. You get hit with 15 points of slashing damage.
That's actually halved because my blade ward is still up.
Okay.
So half of 15 is
7.
Okay.
And then these missiles like barrage hit into its side. Just what did you roll for damage?
$17 points of force damage.
Okay. And Leverin, you would have seen the owlbear attack Kenya and then get hit by these magic missiles.
Okay. So it's my turn,
Um,
or is it Kenya's?
it'll start. Who had 16?
I did.
Okay, it'll start with Kiaran at the top, but is there anything you want to do before the initiative?
I'm gonna rush forward. As I see the owlbear come down to attack, and use defensive flourish, so that I have gotta change this. So I have 60 feet of movement, and I'm gonna use the 20 to get to the bear, and I'm gonna attack it. Mm, mm, mm. Let's see. So if okay, I'm gonna attack it twice. So first one does a 11 hit.
No.
Okay. Second one 12.
No.
God. Let's go back down. Mm-mm. Oh, hang on. Yeah, that's gonna be it. And then I'm gonna move back 30 feet from the bear.
Okay. Top of the order, Kiaran, it's your go. You see
My God.
Leverin kind of come in close and then disengage.
I'm gonna say, damn, that didn't work out for him. And I am going to concentrate for a second, and I'm gonna look at it and gonna kind of just, and I'm gonna cast Tasha's Mind Whip.
Okay.
It's an intelligence save of 16.
Does it have intelligence? No. So that's a 0.
Yeah, you fail. So that's a 3d6. 3 fours. So that would be 12
Okay.
of psychic damage.
Is that the end of your turn?
That's what I have for bonus actions.
And
And
yeah, you're up next.
and I'm going to telekinetic shove it away from Kenya.
Who are you trying to shove, either Kenya or the owlbear?
The owlbear, to get it away from her.
Well, I say it in the essence of one's easier to shove than the other one. And you're not going to provoke a opportunity attack.
Right. Okay.
It's most likely that Kenya's going to fail her save over the owlbear.
But right. Okay. Let me see.
Because it doesn't do damage, does it? It just shoves them if they fail.
Right. I'm making sure of that. Yep.
accidentally injures Kenya again. I'm sorry.
Yeah, because that's probably true. Let me telekinetic shove Kenya 30 feet away behind a big rock. Put some sort of something between her and the owlbear.
Okay. Roll a survival check paired with that shove check. And
Me?
yeah, just to make sure that you're trying to push her to the rock and not into the rock.
Right. Okay. I see your point. 14, 15.
Yeah, that's enough. Do you allow yourself to be shoved, Kenya? Or okay, yeah, you're just sliding back into the mist.
Yeah, my mate. Yeah, it was my. Yeah, that's what it was. So I did that.
Okay. Next up is Kenya.
Let me see. And the owlbear's 30 feet away from me?
Yes.
I'm going to try and cast enlarge or reduce, and I'm going to try to shrink the owlbear.
Okay. What's the save on that?
15 for con.
And con is +4. 17.
Damn it. Yeah, it doesn't do anything.
Okay. Now that the owlbear is got your attention, you watch as 3 more bolts kind of shoot into its back. It taking what's the average of that? Okay. Taking some damage. And you hear off in the distance, I believe I said run, not hide.
Leverin's gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna move the 30 feet back to the owlbear and do 2-weapon fighting.
Okay.
That's a nat 20 for a 26.
Okay. That hits.
So the owlbear is gonna take 23 points of damage.
Okay.
And then the second does an 18 hit.
That hits, yeah.
It's gonna take another 6 points of damage, and then defensive flourish. So it's gonna take 8 more points of damage, and that's gonna go to my AC as well. And I'm gonna move back 20 feet,
Okay.
or actually 30 feet. Sorry, because I get 10 more feet. So another 30 feet away from the owlbear.
Okay. Is that the end of your turn?
Yep, that's it.
Okay. The owlbear's turn. It is going to rush you, Kenya. Let's see. Does a 19 hit?
Shield.
Okay. It goes to slash at you, and you block it, preventing it from doing so. Top of the order, Kiaran with Kenya on deck.
I'm going to use my telepathic connection that I still have with Kenya, and I'm going to say, I think we need to get out of here. Because Professor Littlefoot said run, not hide, and we're battling something, and he probably knows more about this than we do. Maybe we should run. And
I say we should have run.
I mean, we've done pretty good against this thing, but this may not be the only thing.
Yourself, Miss Talabrina.
This my point is this may not be the only thing out here, and
I agree.
I'm going to wave over at Levrin and get his attention. I'm going to say, and we got to run. You know,
Levrin, make a perception check.
Okay.
All of us?
No, just Levrin.
and
It's gonna be a 15.
Okay. You don't notice Kiaran kind of trying to get your attention, but you do notice the owlbear looks pretty rough.
well, that wasn't my whole turn.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So I don't notice her getting. So I don't hear their conversation or anything.
No, because she's talking telepathically to Kenya.
Okay.
What did you have bonus action left, Kiaran?
Well, I mean, was that my action? I was just like telling Kenya we needed to run, and I was kind of making a plan, and then I was going to hit one attack and then take off running.
Okay. Roll to attack whichever way you're going to try.
All right. I'm gonna cast magic missiles again
Okay.
at second level again. $17 points of force damage, and I'm going to drop down and from the tree, use my full movement towards the direction we came from, back towards campus.
Okay. Make a acrobatics check to make sure you stick the landing.
15.
Yep. You land down, and having ushered your note to Kenya, you start making it back towards where you believe the school is. Kenya?
I'm going to cast.
Owlbear still in front of you, by the way.
Yep. I am going to disengage and run.
Okay. So you're like, nope, and start taking off. Full movement. Okay. Levrin?
Leverin's gonna with his back to Kieran, or well, no, because they're Leverin's gonna smirk and kind of like twirl his swords in excitement and attack the owlbear again.
Okay.
Nope, that doesn't hit. 18. So it's gonna take 2 points of damage and mm, and I'm gonna use mobile flourish. So it's going to take 2 more points of damage, and it's going to push back 7 feet, and I'm going to get behind the bear, like off to its side, about 4 feet away.
What was that last damage? And also luck to Kiaran and inspo to Natari.
What was it?
What was the last damage that you did to the owlbear, Levering?
Oh, they were both 2.
Okay.
So 4 points of damage total.
Okay.
And then I'm about 4 feet to the back left of the bear.
All right. It's still standing. Looks super rough. Make a deck save.
Ooh, 11.
You watch as Professor Littlefoot comes like out of the shadow, scoops you up, passes by the owlbear, goes to hit. Yep. The owlbear drops, and he keeps running, putting away his hand crossbow, crossbow. With you over his shoulder, he runs up behind Kenya, who's running super slow, picks you up in his arms, and between the three of you, you all catch up to Kiaran as you exit out of this mist. And he sets you down.
Told you I wouldn't die.
Kenya is just out of breath, completely frightened.
So how do we do?
Well, there were 3 more owlbears closing in on us, so...
I felt that was probably the case. You did say to run.
But congrats. You're some of the first students to survive your first class with me.
Did you say survive? Like some of the first?
Yeah, he just like... Yeah. And
He's
like
just
makes his way
casually-
back into the school. Class dismissed.
Sweet. Did I get an A?
He just goes into his clothes. Natari, you see the door to Professor Knopf's class open, and this satyr man, Professor Knopf, looks out at you. Ah, Miss Anisi, are you ready for class?
Yeah, yes. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And he opens the door all the way, and you watch as other students kind of like start to come in as well. And that's where we're going to end it for today. We'll pick up with Natari's conjuration class in our next episode, and we will also find out about the Ghoul's Ball, which is a thing.
Woo!
Not
Yes.
a chaperone.
Kenya will
Don't ask
not be
me.
participating in that.
Come check us out in 2 weeks. I'm not sure what the day is off on the 10th, and things might get a little spooky, but yep. Have fun. See you all next time. But yes, thank you all, and yes, Chelsea eventually will be affiliate, so you'll be able to do luck the normal way, but
Thank you, Chelsea.
but
Thank you.
thank you regardless. We loved having all of you here.
Yes, thank you, everybody.
We are going to raid Evan H. Paul because it's his birthday, and he decided to ditch us all to play a 24-hour stream instead. But I'm not salty or anything. It's fine.
Oof.
He just doesn't want to have to deal with the whole Alexander
Yeah.
Knott thing. He's
Yeah.
trying to throw it off as long as
I
possible.
mean, it's a thing whether he wants it to be a thing or not. But we'll pop in, say happy birthday, call him a yabish, and yep, that'll be pretty much it. Thanks everybody, and we'll see you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.